A rancher won a bride at sunrise, but by midnight she had claimed him instead. The sun was just cracking the horizon over Sagebrush Valley, painting the sky in streaks of gold and crimson, when I, Jack Colton, stepped into the dusty auction yard of Willow Creek. The air smelled of fresh hay and desperation, the kind that hung heavy on folks who'd lost their way in this unforgiving frontier. I'd ridden in from my ranch at first light, my spurs jingling against my boots, drawn by whispers of a special lot up for bid. Never figured it'd be a woman. Her name was Alina Vasquez, or so the auctioneer barked as he shoved her onto the wooden platform. She stood there, wrists loosely tied with a frayed rope, her dark curls cascading like a wild river down her back. Her dress was simple cotton, torn at the hem from whatever ordeal had landed her here. Debts from her late father's failed homestead, they said. Mexican blood, some muttered, as if that made her less than human in these parts. But her eyes, Dios mío, they were twin storms, flashing defiance at the crowd of leering ranchers and drifters. I wasn't there for a bride. Hell, after losing my wife Sarah to fever 3 years back, I'd sworn off entanglements. My ranch, Colton Spread, was all I needed: acres of cattle, endless skies, and solitude to nurse the ache in my chest. But when the bidding started low, and old man Harlan leered at her like she was prime stock, something snapped. $50, I called out, my voice steady despite the knot in my gut. Bids climbed, voices rough and hungry. Harlan pushed to 75, his tobacco-stained grin widening. Elena's gaze locked on mine, not pleading but challenging, as if daring me to see her as more than a prize. Memories flooded, Sarah's gentle laugh gone too soon, leaving me hollow. I couldn't let this woman end up in Harlan's clutches. 100, I shouted, draining my savings. The gavel fell. She was mine by sunrise. They untied her, and she walked toward me with the grace of a Mustang, unbroken and proud. You think you own me now, rancher? She whispered, her accent thick like honeyed tequila, eyes narrowing. I tipped my hat, masking the unease churning inside. Name's Jack, and no ma'am. Just saving you from worse. But as we rode back to the ranch, her sitting stiff behind me on my stallion Thunder, her warmth seeped through my shirt, stirring embers I'd thought long cold. The valley unfolded around U.S. rolling hills dotted with sage, the distant lowing of cattle like a lonesome song. She didn't speak, but her silence spoke volumes: resentment, fear, and a fire that mirrored my own buried grief. By midday, we reached the ranch house, a sturdy log cabin I'd built with my own hands after Sarah's passing. My foreman, Rusty, a grizzled veteran, with a limp from the war, eyed her suspiciously. Boss, you've gone loco? Bringing a stranger here? She's stayin', I grunted, helping her down. Alina brushed off my hand, striding inside like she owned the place. I showed her to the spare room, Sarah's old quilts still on the bed. Make yourself at home. Ain't no chains here. She spun on me, her voice a whip. Home, this is your cage, not mine. I owe you nothing. Her words stung, pushing me back, but as she turned away, I caught the tremor in her hands, the vulnerability beneath the steel. It pulled at me, a strange ache, like rediscovering a forgotten melody. The afternoon dragged with tension. I tended the herd, mending fences under the blistering sun, but my mind wandered to her. What ghost did she carry? Her father's debts had sold her freedom, but her spirit, untouchable. Rusty grumbled over lunch. Women like her bring trouble. Jack, remember Sarah soft hearts break easy? But Alina wasn't soft. She emerged from the house, sleeves rolled up, and without a word, started weeding the neglected gardens Sarah once loved. Her movements were fluid, determined, turning chaos into order. I watched from afar, a pull in my chest, admiration mixed with longing. By supper, she'd cook beans and cornbread, the aroma filling the air like a warm embrace. We ate in silence, Rusty excusing himself early, leaving us alone. Why'd you bid? She asked finally, her fork pausing midair. I met her gaze, the candlelight dancing in her eyes. Couldn't stand seeing you treated like cattle. Reminded me of someone I lost. She softened, just a fraction. My padre. He dreamed of this land, but it swallowed him. left me with nothing but debts. Her voice cracked, pulling me closer across the table. For a moment our hands brushed, electric, and I felt the push-pull. My walls cracking, her defenses thawing. As dusk fell, trouble rode in Harlan and his boys, drunk and vengeful, guns drawn. "You stole my bride, Colton?" he bellowed from horseback, torchlight flickering ominously. I grabbed my rifle, heart racing. "She ain't property, Harlan. Leave now." Alina appeared at my side, clutching a kitchen knife, her stance fierce. Shots rang out, splintering the porch rail. I fired back, dropping one rider, but Harlan charged, his horse thundering toward us. In the chaos, Alina lunged, slashing at Harlan's reins, sending his mount rearing. He tumbled, cursing, as Rusty emerged from the barn, shotgun blasting warnings. The gang scattered into the night, but not before Harlan spat, "This ain't over." Adrenaline surged as I turned to her, blood pounding. "You could have run. Why fight?" Her breath came heavy, eyes locking on mine. "Because maybe you're worth fighting for." The words hung, pulling us into an embrace, her lips on mine, fierce and claiming. By midnight, under a canopy of stars, she'd turned the tables. I wasn't the winner. She'd claimed my heart, healing wounds I'd thought eternal. In her arms, the ranch felt like home again, our futures entwined like the valley's endless trails.